welcome back to the next episode of how to make the ultimate comfortable settee. Now in the previous episodes I've shown how to take it from a piece of wood to make the frame, to put the springs in, and eventually we got it to this stage here, which is the calico stage, and we've got the calico on the base, the sides, but we haven't done the back. Because the back we're going to do what's known as deep buttoning, which is one of those sort of classic upholstery techniques. So I've marked up the back with the rows where I'm going to put the buttons, and I'll put the centres where I'm going to do them. So the first thing to do is to make a hole in the hessian, and then that gives you something to pull the button into. So pick where you want to start, and then using one of these craft knives, you cut the hessian there, and then that gives our button something to work. So exactly the same as we've done in the previous steps. First of all, we're going to put ourselves in a bit of cotton wadding. And that's it, we can fill where we've got our holes. And then as before, I'm going to put this skin wadding on as well, which you'll remember is the fireproof barrier. And then our last layer is the calico. And now using the mattress needle, you'll remember from earlier, we feel where we made our hole, and we go straight through, and then we want to come straight back up again. And I've got this little piece of waste calico which I'm going to make into a roll, and I'll put one in the loop underneath just to stop it pulling through. Tie a slip knot there. I'll make another little calico roll at this end, which you slide through, and then you pull it as tight as you can. And that becomes the start of our buttoning. And you can see, so I'm now going to go through and do the next one here, and then we'll go to there, and then we just work our way out to the sides until I've done it all. So as you can see, we've now reached the point that I've covered the base, I've covered the sides, and this part of the back with the final covering. So the next bit is to do this bit at the back, and this is the bit that's going to be deep buttoned. So we've already started to put these tufts in, so the next job is to make the buttons. So this is our buttoning machine, nothing too sophisticated here. So we put a little bit of rough cut inside the machine, and we have this circular cutter which fits in here, and then you press down. And that cuts a nice little circle of material. So having cut out all the circles, we're then ready to assemble the buttons. So we need the base of the button, which fits into this part of the machine here. We have our cloth circle, which fits into this bit. A little metal cap. Push the two bits together, so it all fits in together like that. And then that fits into the machine like so, and you apply some pressure. And that's our finished button. Well, this feels like we're on the home straight now. Nearly finished. I've already covered the seat, I've covered the sides, so now the last part is to do the final covering on the back. So I've cut myself a piece of material, and one of the first mistakes we make as we start out is that you forget that you're deep buttoning the back here, and you cut the material to size, and then of course as you button it all starts to gather in. So you need to make sure that you leave lots and lots of slack all the way around the outside. Don't try and cut it very tight, otherwise it works out a very expensive mistake. So you get your piece of material, put it on, so you're working from the middle. And what we want to do is we're going to come up from underneath, come to here, put the button on and go straight back down again. Sounds very simple when you say it like that. Let's see if we can do it. So you need to feel where you're coming in to, and that's it. We want to come in. So we put the button on and then we go straight back down again. And then we pull it in nice and tight. And that's the first one done. Only another 25 more to do. So as you can see, I'm starting to fold the pleats in as I go, just to make sure we get it really looking nice. Well, it's taken a couple of hours to do all the buttoning at the back, but as you can see, it's starting to look very good now. The next job is to fasten it in around the edges, just the same as I've done all the way through, so I won't bother showing you that. Now, in order to do the sides, what we want to try and get is a nice clean edge there, and obviously we can't put tacks all the way down there and still get a clean edge. So what you do is you use this clever little stuff. It's just a nailing strip. When I first started, I used to do this with any old bits of cardboard, but then I discovered you can actually buy a proper strip, and you buy it in big long lengths, and you just nail it into place. Lots and lots of tacks. And then when we bend this over in a minute, that gives us a nice clean edge strip there. We then want to do this front edge, and obviously that we can't nail at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew it. And this is where we've actually got to do proper sewing, not upholsterer's type sewing. So nice neat sewing, because we don't want this ever to be seen. So the first job is to pin it into place. Now when you stitch this, you want to do nice small stitches on the inside of the seam to try and make them as invisible as possible. But you can see, once that's done, that makes a lovely neat seam and a nice neat edge. Well, it's taken a while, but we've finally got there. If you've been watching from the start of the videos, you'll remember that we started a few weeks ago with a plank of wood, and slowly we've built it up through 4 different layers of stuffing and lots of springs to this superb looking settee that you see before you. If you added up all the hours, it probably represents 8 or 9 days work, so it's never really going to be a mass market product, but boy, heck, it's comfortable. This is really as good as it gets. So I hope you've enjoyed the videos. You never know, you might have learned something, and if it's inspired you to have a go, then make sure you do. Thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.